Hey, Lisa. I've been hearing a lot about Linux lately. Can you tell me why people use it?
Definitely, Jen. Linux is an open-source operating system, which means it's free to use and modify. It is Unix-based and known for its robustness and security.
Open source? Does that mean anyone can see and change the code?
Exactly. Anyone can view, modify, and distribute the code. This has led to a huge community of developers constantly improving Linux. It's a big reason why it's so reliable and secure.
Interesting. So, is Linux only for programmers and tech enthusiasts?
Not at all. While it's popular among developers, there are many user-friendly distributions, or distros, designed for everyday users. For example, Ubuntu and Linux Mint are great for beginners. They offer a familiar desktop environment and easy installation process.
That sounds promising. How does Linux compare to other operating systems like Windows or macOS?
One key difference is that Linux is highly customizable. You can choose your desktop environment, window manager, and a plethora of software options. It's also less resource-intensive, meaning you can run smoothly on older hardware. Plus, you don't need to worry about most viruses and malware.
But what about software compatibility? Can I run my favorite programs on Linux?
That's a good question. Many popular applications have Linux versions or alternatives. For example, you can use LibreOffice instead of Microsoft Office, and GIMP instead of Photoshop. For software that's only available on Windows, you can use tools like Wine or virtualization software to run them on Linux.
What about gaming? I've heard Linux isn't great for gaming.
It's true that gaming on Linux has had its challenges, but things are improving. Platforms like Steam offer a growing library of Linux-compatible games, and there are projects like Proton that make it easier to run Windows games on Linux. Plus, more game developers are starting to release native Linux versions of their games.
That's good to know. How do I get started with Linux if I want to try it out?
The easiest way is to download a Linux distribution's ISO file, create a bootable USB drive, and try it out without installing it. This is called a live session. If you like it, you can then install it alongside your current operating system or replace it entirely.
Any recommendations on which distro to start with?
I'd recommend Ubuntu or Linux Mint. They have large communities and lots of documentation, which makes troubleshooting easier. Plus, their user interfaces are pretty intuitive for those coming from Windows or macOS.
Thanks, Lisa. This has been really helpful. I'm excited to give Linux a try.
Jen, enjoy exploring Linux. Once you get the hang of it, you might never look back.